Alexandra Sleator, Career Accelerator. And that means that working together, we will achieve your career aspirations faster than on your own. We can work on winning that promotion that you deserve, or finding a role that will play better to your strengths and fulfill you more, or help you succeed fast in a new position that you've won. Or in this difficult environment, we can work on helping you connect more to what motivates you at work, even though it is quite tough these days. And if, sadly, you've been made redundant, we can work on returning you quickly to the workplace. So no matter what your challenge is, working together in a time and cost-efficient way, we will realize your career dream. For those of you who have followed my work, you may notice that this is a bit of a different setting. And indeed, I have moved house. I will record the next videos from a different, brighter part of the house, but it's not yet ready. So for today, we're in the basement. Anyway, let me reassure you, I'm not gonna tell you all my horror stories of moving. For this month, I would like to discuss with you effective listening. I'm sure that many of you have heard that effective listening is one of those skills that are instrumental to gaining advancement in the office. Maybe some of you have been encouraged to listen more in the office, but why would you do it and how? So that's what this video is about. So let's start with the why. Why bother listening? Well, 3 reasons I think. The first one is because when you listen, you learn. When you don't listen, you're effectively assuming that you know everything there is to know. And that represents a risk. Because after all, if you were to listen, you might come across new and substantial information that could make a very big impact on decisions that need to be taken and on the solutions that are needed. So while listening at the onset is an investment, it will pay for itself in terms of energy, time and money savings further down the line. So that's the first benefit. The second one is engagement. Now, when I'm asked for my opinion, I usually feel quite nice about it. And I suspect that it's the case for many of us. So when you consult with others, there's a positive vibe there, and it helps building rapport and getting along with colleagues because they feel valued that you have bothered to ask their opinion. And in addition to the rapport building element, the good thing is that they will usually return the favor. Indeed, if you listen to people, you will find that they're more themselves ready and open to listening to you, which gives you a better platform for your ideas, helps you become more influential in the workplace because you have actually people interested in listening to you in the first place. And the third aspect around engagement is that when you listen to people, you find out what they're concerned about. And when you then are making your proposals, you are able to tackle those worries of theirs and alleviate them so that you make a much stronger case for your ideas than if you had not been aware of what these other people had in their minds. Then the third benefit of listening is efficiency and effectiveness. Indeed, if you have bothered to consult and learned maybe new information that you wouldn't have found out, you're able to get to a solution that is the better one rather than maybe the second best. So there is a quality element to the kind of success that you can hope to get if you listen well. So if you listen, you get it right more often and you get it more right. The other thing is if you've consulted within your team as a line manager, what you're learning as well as information about the problem, you learn of course about the talents of your team members, and that allows you to allocate work among your team members in the most effective way. So that's the third benefit of learning. Of listening rather, after learning and engaging, is succeeding in a very effective way. So in summary, when you listen, you achieve a lot of benefits, and the ones that have come to my mind and I've jotted them are more effective teamwork, higher productivity, greater employee engagement, fewer conflicts and errors, enhanced innovation, better solutions to problems, improved talent retention, and superior customer relations. Now, those are just a few of the benefits that came to my mind, but I think they're already quite potent. So now let's move to the how. Assuming that you're now very interested in listening, then how do you do that? So I teach a model called LISTEN, and LISTEN is a 6-step model for effective listening, and it's been both very popular and effective with the clients I've shared it with. But for the purpose of this video, let me talk only about 3 elements. The first tip is hold back. Indeed, when you're not used to listening, I want to be very frank with you, you will find it hard. So you will feel potentially very keen to interrupt. And really don't do that. Let the other person talk. It may seem, as I've said, that listening is a waste of time, but again, the benefits further down the line are really material. You will find also that your mind may wander, because again, you're not used to listening to someone, so even if you don't interrupt, your mind will start going in different places. So force yourself to concentrate. Again, at the beginning it's an effort, but if you repeat it, it will become second nature after a while. And the third element around holding back is when there's a silence, because maybe somebody is pausing to reflect and gather their thoughts. Don't jump in to fill the silence. I found very useful to count to 7 in my head, and usually the person has started talking again. And if they haven't, then it's time for me to say something. But don't jump in, because that's another form, in fact, of interrupting. The other element around effective listening is asking the right questions. Now, that may seem a little bit counterintuitive, that listening is about asking questions. But indeed, for example, don't start with, what can I help you with? This may come from a good place, that you want to be supportive and help the person out, but it also presumes that they can't help themselves without you. So ask a more open question. What are we here to talk about? You know, what is going on? Leave it open so that you give space to the person to answer in as broad a fashion as possible, rather than asking closed questions, which eventually will narrow down the dialogue. When the person looks like they're pausing, ask, is there anything else that I should know? So ask open questions which enable you to gather as much information as possible, rather than, again, questions like, is it this or that, which narrow the dialogue. So that's the logic of an open dialogue. Is there anything else you want to tell me? And also, as you're engaging with the person, encourage facts. Because if you get into too subjective a discussion, you're not really going to be able to assess the validity of the information you get. So when you think that somebody is really just telling you something they think, then maybe you might want to ask, how do you know? That's another question that also is very helpful. Make sure that you get hard facts, verifiable information, as opposed to just somebody's, stream of consciousness. And the third tip around effective listening is clarification. Let me do a little exercise with you right now. Let me ask you to think about a flower. I've thought about a flower. You've thought about a flower. Now, who's to say that we've thought about the same flower? So if I was to discuss flowers with you, with my idea of flower in my head and your idea of flower in your head, we might eventually get into a very big misunderstanding, because you see, I was thinking about a tulip, and maybe you were thinking about a rose, or a daisy, or another flower yet. So clarification is important, because often people don't realize that they're assuming that they're on the same page, and they're not. And they can have all these long-winded meetings where everybody is vehemently, vigorously agreeing with each other, except that the foundation is completely different. And in banks and large corporations that I've worked with, where there's often a lot of project work going on, if you don't get the basic requirements agreed, with everybody being very clear, you're going to go and build a white elephant. So ask questions that help bring you on the same page, and ask things like, what kind of? Like if I was to have asked you, oh, what kind of flower did you think about? And then you would have said a daisy. And I would have said, well, my kind of flower was a tulip. And then we could have decided whether we talked about tulips or daisies or roses. So that's very important to clarify at every opportunity that everybody is really talking about the same thing, rather than just assuming that what goes on in your head is what must be going on in the other person. And especially when they're sharing with you their concerns around a project, that kind of question, what kind of concern do you have? And when you say you're concerned about cost, exactly what kind of cost increase are you concerned about? You see, that allows you to dig deeper and understand more where the person is coming from. And if you want to influence them, it's going to be helpful. And if you want to devise the right solution, again, having all that information will be very useful further down the line. So again, the 3 core tips for effective listening is hold back, ask the right open questions, and clarify to get on the same page. So there you have it, the benefits of effective listening and 3 tips on how to actually go about listening effectively. I hope this was helpful, and I encourage you to go and practice effective listening and see the kind of benefits that you can notice from doing more listening in your office. As usual, I would love to hear how your experience was, whether what worked and what worked less well. So don't hesitate to contact me. My email address is, as usual, appearing at the bottom of the screen. So this is it for February, and I will look forward to seeing you next month for more tips on career and managing your life in the workplace, and hopefully we won't be anymore in the basement. Thank you very much for watching. Take good care, and bye-bye.